Hey, Steve Champagne here. I got a question for you. Would you like to build a business to a tune of almost $500,000 in 1 year? If so, stick with me through this short video presentation, and I'm going to show you how this pro forma gives you a complete blueprint on how to build a $500,000 business in 1 year. So without further ado, let's get right into it, okay? So in this pro forma, we're looking at 12 months worth of income and expenses. We're looking at revenues. We're looking at building a labor force of people who do lead generation for you, and then also a labor force that also does the fulfillment for you, okay? And there are some basic scenarios that we're using to do this pro forma. Again, it allows you to do what-if scenarios, but you're going to see from a very conservative approach that you can build a $500,000 a year business with dedication and focus. So let's get into it, okay? Let's first review the calculation factors, and that's going to be found over here in the upper right-hand corner. When you focus on a really dedicated approach to getting out to your prospects, and again, as you know, I'm a big advocate of picking up the phone and making telemarketing calls, and so this pro forma is really based on you building a team of virtual telemarketers doing outbound calls for you, okay? Your team members are going to average roughly 30 calls an hour for you. They're going to, out of that, 10% are going to generate into qualified leads. So we're going to be looking at 3 qualified leads an hour from your telemarketers. They're going to do rough 120 hours of calls a month. So they're roughly going to generate, each VA is going to generate for you roughly about 360 qualified leads, okay? Now from that, what we're going to see is only 1% convert into sale. Only 1%. It could be as high as 2%, 3%. At any given time in the market, typically between 2 and 3% of the folks are in need of your services. But remember, you are generating 360 qualified leads per VA that's doing telemarketing for you per month. And we'll look at those numbers in a minute about how many qualified leads that you're going to have in a database at the end of 12 months and what that means to your business too. Getting back to these calculation factors, we're looking at 4 sales per VA that is doing telemarketing for you. Now, we talk about recurring revenue. Now, win-win recurring revenue. What is a win-win recurring revenue? Well, it has to be a win for you because you want it to be recurring and you don't want to see any churn in your book. You're spending a lot of time and energy to acquire this person as a customer and a client, and you want them to be with you for a very long time and writing $500 a month checks to you forever, okay? So that's your win. The win for your customer and your client is that they're actually seeing return on investment. So many times I see the gurus out there talking about charging $1,000 or $900 for this, and there's really no investment or no return on investment from the point of view of the small business owner, and very quickly they're letting that service go. So what are some win-win recurring revenue streams? Well, the ones that I like are text marketing. I like Facebook advertisement and Facebook posting and social media management. I like reputation monitoring, not necessarily marketing, okay? And those can all easily be delivered at $500 a month or even a little bit more. Now, let's talk about what you're going to pay your VAs, okay? As far as your VAs that are actually doing telemarketing for you, you can pick up great telemarketers in the Philippines who speak really good English for $4.50 an hour, okay? Now, I'm going to put this as a base pay, all right? And you'll see that there's more than enough money in this pro forma to give bonuses to your VAs that are producing revenue for you, okay? But I wanted a base for you to work from, and $4.50 an hour is what you can be paying these telemarketers to do base work. As far as your support VAs, what you're going to pay them is a flat $500 a month to work for you for 160 hours. Again, there's more than enough revenue in here to give them bonuses for doing a good job, and they will appreciate it. Now, we also want to account for office expenses, and we want to make that a percentage of revenue. So as more revenue comes in, you're basically going to maybe get a bigger office or expand something or get new computers, whatever it is. I wanted to make this as a percentage of revenue. So as your business grows, you can also expand into your business and put more into your business. And I also did this with miscellaneous expense. So now, in all probability, when you're building this business, you're going to be using credit cards to process. Not going to be waiting for checks. So you're going to have processing fees. And so your credit card processing fees are probably going to average you between 2.5 and 2.25, or as much as 3%. So in this pro forma, I have it in here as 2.5. The next thing we have to look at is how many man hours you need per client per month as far as your support staff. If you're doing the services that I talk about, it's between 3 and 4 hours per month per client, okay? That's all you really have to do. And this is really an indicator of how much support staff that you have to bring on as your client base expands, okay? So you got to kind of keep that in mind. As your client base grows, at what point do you start bringing on more support people? And down at the bottom here, let me scroll down, you'll see that I give you an indicator of the number of support people that you need right here. You know, in the beginning, it's not that many, but as you go and go and go and go, you can see now that you're up to a support staff of 4 here, and I might even have in here, 5 in here for this calculation, and I have enough room in here for you to put more. So let's go through the pro forma real quickly. So first month, you hire yourself a VA just to do your telemarketing for you. That telemarketing person is going to generate $1,800 in reoccurring revenue for you for the month, okay? You're going to take out their expense. You're going to take out your miscellaneous expenses. It's going to leave you, roughly about $1,000 in revenue here, or $1,100 in revenue to bring people on. So the next thing you want to do is reinvest back into your income stream and bring on 2 more VAs. And at this point, I would also bring on 1 support person and start getting them trained. Again, if we go down here, you don't really need them, but it's at a place where you can start training this person to actually be a manager as you start bringing on more support people, so you can get them trained to do the work that you're going to be setting up. So at the end of month 2, you've made roughly netting out $4,500, $4,600. Again, nice paycheck. And I'm not going to take you all through each of these months, but as you can see, your net income really starts growing exponentially as you start doing this. You start stacking your recurring income, and you also start stacking how many people are actually producing income for you and doing your fulfillment. You can see by the end of a 12-month cycle that you can be up to almost $85,000 in revenue and having close to 191 customers in your clients. But things that are important for you to know. If you follow this particular blueprint, what you're going to have as far as qualified leads with email addresses at the end of 12 months is almost 20,000 email addresses. And there's a lot more money in the follow-up, okay? Now, this is just what's come off the top with, 1% of sales. Imagine when you stay in touch and you put a follow-up strategy and put a passive funnel in place to, build your authority with all these leads. More money is going to be coming in year 2. You really can build yourself a multi-million-dollar business with local marketing and local marketing services. Again, it's a blend of offering the right products, okay? You don't want to deal with churn. You want to be able to offer a good return on investment for your client and a good return for you that supports the growth of your business and puts money in your pocket. Now, hopefully you can see the blueprint here, okay? And having systems is very, very important. And this is where my virtual collar comes in. This is where the MAR system comes in and helping you build that business. So what I like to do is give you this pro forma absolutely free, all right? Just below, you're going to find a link that will take you out to this spreadsheet. And what you're going to want to do is go up here and click on Make a Copy, okay? Make a copy. It's going to put it into your Google Drive. Play with it. It'll be your numbers. And hopefully you can start to see that there is money to be made here. And probably the last thing I want to leave you with here is the average revenue per dial when you're looking at it. So when your telemarketers are picking up the phone, what is the average revenue that you're making per dial? And what you'll see very quickly by the end of 12th month, you go from 30 cents per dial to making as much as $4.69 per dial. So every time your team is picking up the phone, they're making you $5 bills, okay? How cool is that? All right, so have fun with this. Again, I highly recommend, if you don't have my virtual collar yet, pick it up. You can get the Mars system now absolutely free. I don't know how long I'm going to be including it into my virtual collar yearly subscription, but for the time being, I'm going to keep it included, and it's really, really going to help you grow your business. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.